Hey friends, today God asked me to tell you a story. You ready? There was once a man named Jonah who inherited a tiny cottage on the edge of a quiet village. Behind the cottage stretched a dry, dusty patch of earth, cracked, stubborn, and lifeless. Now, Jonah had always dreamed of growing a garden full of life. So one spring morning, he dropped to his knees and whispered a prayer. God, bless this soil. Let it bloom with beauty. Use my hands. Make it holy. Now every morning he watered it. He broke up the hard earth with care. He planted seeds of lily, lavender, tomatoes, and grapes. Days passed, then weeks. The sun burned, the wind blew, and the ground stayed empty. Neighbors scoffed. Why keep watering the dirt? They would ask. And even Jonah began to wonder. One night, he cried out of frustration, God, are you even listening? I've done everything. And that night, in a dream, Jonah saw a hand, scarred and glowing, gently planting something deep beneath the soil. And a voice whispered to him and said, Do you trust me in the silence? Jonah awoke with tears in his eyes. He didn't fully understand, but he kept watering. Then one morning, 2 months later, Jonah stepped into his backyard and gasped. Tiny green shoots had broken through everywhere. By the end of summer, the patch had become a living cathedral of color and fruit. Sunflowers stretching to heaven, grapes hanging heavy on vines, lavender dancing in the breeze. But what struck Jonah most was a single white lily that was growing in the middle of the garden, glowing like the early sun. It looked as if it had been touched by heaven. It was in that moment that Jonah realized the soil wasn't silent. God was working underground. Now, think about this. Sometimes we pray, we plant, we hope, and nothing happens. But I can assure you that God is never idle. He often works beneath the surface, in hidden places, preparing something far greater than we could ever imagine. Has that ever happened to you in the past? It's happened to me many times. And your breakthrough may look delayed, but it's rooted in faith, not speed. Faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. That's Hebrews 11, verse 1. So keep watering and keep believing, even when it looks like dirt, because one day your garden will bloom, and so will your faith. God bless you, my friends.